Now, here's a short story about a guy who's handling things like a boss by immediately dumping his girlfriend when she told him that while she was going on a long 3-week trek to Australia with her girlfriends, was going to stop off for 1 week and hang out with another guy in some other country. But oh, he's just a friend. And this guy's like, nope, not buying it, not having it, we're done. And of course, she is losing her darn mind and all that, but still, he's sticking to it and he's done. And I've been going to go over here, guys, that when gals do things like this, they know what they're doing. And if they're suddenly going hanging off with some guy and everything like that, is crossing major boundaries. One, wanting to do that, and two, you'll see how she does it. Nope. Your gut tells you something's wrong, end of story. And I want to point something out here. This guy really does, and it's a mistake, obviously in my opinion and yours, give her the princess treatment, which to me probably in her mind made her think she could get away with something like this. But even though he gave her the princess treatment, which is a mistake, he shocks her by doing the exact 180 once she crossed the line with him. And that's what I like about this story and this guy. Titled, my girlfriend, a 30-year-old female, wants to go spend a week on vacation with a male friend. And a shout out to Pete for sending in the story. It says, as it mentions in the title, my girlfriend of 8 months is traveling to Australia to see her friends for 3 weeks. It is a big group of friends, and I know them reasonably well. But she told me a couple days ago that she's also then taking another flight to a different city to stay with a guy friend of hers for a week. Nope. Unacceptable. He invited her to stay with him to go explore the city over the week. Yeah, explore, huh? They're going to be exploring something, all right, and it ain't going to be the city. She told me this, and then went on to say that she'd been telling me that this was the plan. The whole time she's been telling me that she's also going to see an old friend from high school who lives in a different city. She made that sound like she's having lunch with the guy. Now all of a sudden, it's a week with this guy that I know nothing about. See? She's being sneaky. It's all done by design. But like I said, guys, and you'll find more about this, he's been really giving her the princess treatment. So she's thinking, oh, this is another guy. I can do whatever I want to. This is why you don't give him the princess treatment. Now, I have no problem with her having guy friends. She has a few, and I trust her completely. Smack, smack, smack. Never trust anybody completely, let alone a girlfriend, a woman. Are you nuts? Well, apparently he is. And yes, she should be having guy friends she's hanging out with. No. I don't think anything... Let me start again. I don't think anything has ever happened between her or any of her friends. But a week-long trip one-on-one is ridiculous. That I cannot tolerate, so I told her she can go, and I am out. Good for you, brother. She never saw that coming. She probably thought, this guy is so pee-whipped. He's eating out of the palm of my hand, wrapped around my little fucking finger. He'll go along with this. Nope. The fact that she would plan a trip like this and tell me after the fact is extremely disrespectful towards our relationship, especially when all we talk about is prioritizing each other over everything else. I don't know what else to do except end things right here. I don't think this will be a one-off, or it'll just become a pattern of pushing boundaries. See what he said? He knows it. Yeah, if I let her get away with this is the beginning. There'll be way more incidents of her pushing boundaries of disrespect. So he's smart enough to realize, shit, I screwed up. We're done. Cut the losses. And that whole part he said about prioritizing each other or everything else, it sounds to me he's been the one prioritizing her or everybody else, not the same. You can treat your girl well, guys. I encourage all of you to do that. But it has to be reciprocated. And there's treating well, and there's the princess treatment. Well, after this conversation, she was very quick to say she's canceling the trip, but I don't care about that after that fact. I don't think I can be in a relationship where I'm dealing with things like this. I expect my partner to have respect for a relationship, not just say, I'm not cheating on you, though. Is this a pattern to expect if we don't end things here? Now on to his update. He says, after ending things, she starts spiraling a bit. Oh, for goodness. They always spiral. Meltdown central. A lot of crying and crazy things. We spoke about all this, and I tried to be what I thought would be kind and let her get it all out. Her family members reached out asking what had happened, as she was just a mess, and things escalated a little. Define escalated. Like they were yelling at him or something? The guy's 29 years old. She's 30. Here's what's really going on, guys. She's 30. Guarantee is she's thinking wedding bells because, she's 30. And all of a sudden she has to start from scratch. That's what the panic's about. I honestly don't even know what to say about that. I spoke to her after all at once and decided to cut all contact with her. Good, bro. Man, he's redeemed himself. I'll give him that. Ending things felt especially right because at some point in our conversation, listen to this, she said she wouldn't have booked this trip if she didn't feel uncertain about our relationship. Just wow, considering that you were planning to get married sometime early next year. Now all of a sudden, remember, it was no big deal. Now all of a sudden she's saying that, well, I did it because I was feeling uncertain about things. Oh, okay. So I guess it really wasn't an innocent of trip as she let on, and certainly wasn't a mistake on my part. Now she's free from this uncertain relationship, and certainly free to do what her heart desires. I really do hope she finds peace and happiness in her life. It sucks that things ended this way because we were freaking great up until this point. I'm just glad I trusted my gut. Always stick with your gut. Amen, man. Absolutely. Now you need to really rethink that whole thing about trusting a woman completely. You're out of your goddamn mind to do that. It's the fucking truth. Or frankly, I wouldn't trust anybody completely in this world. That's just me. And the whole part about, I'm okay with her having guy friends. No, if she's your girlfriend and you're thinking about marriage, which by the way they actually were, which is insane for 8 months being in a relationship, that gave her certainty, I might add. No, she's not hanging out with other dudes. No. Now, there's more commentary. I'm going to read some of his comments elaborating the situation, but the main gist of the whole thing is good for him. He ended it with her. Can't tolerate that shit. Because if he let that go, guys, what do you think was going to be happening? Given how she then confessed, things were kind of rocky about her relationship, she'd probably be hooking up with that dude. And guess what? There'd be more disrespect and crossing boundaries. Someone says here, I've seen a few posts like these where the guy does everything right. This is one. What was that it? Did you ask her what she meant by that? Because it certainly sounds like she wanted to see if there were sparks with this other guy with full intent of cheating. And our guy here says, what a wild thing to say on her part. Uncertain about the guy who's taking care of every detail of your life. Paying for everything, making your problems his problems, but certain about some guy on the other side of the world who's inviting you despite knowing you're in a relationship. Yeah, have a great time. He says, man, I don't want to rant, but holy shit, what a comfortable life she would have had just in a few months of us dating. You can literally see how much of a different person she'd become. The stress literally melted off her face. Yet to give all that up for, well, I don't even know what she gave it up for. So smack to him. What do you hear all that? Taking care of every detail of her life, paying for everything, making her problems his problems, blah, 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 blah. He probably thought he was the big man taking care of his woman. No, you should be paying for everything. No, she should be taking care of all her problems. She's getting the princess treatment. She's thinking, shit, this guy's a pushover. Another guy says, the important part is that you stood your ground and treated yourself with the respect you deserve. If most men were like you, this shit wouldn't happen as often. And this girl will think about you for years and years too. And he says, I fell for her pretty hard. It's still pretty crazy the things I was willing to do for her. I remember this one thing we always joked about and had become a thing. She's a foodie and she loved this spread from the grocery store that was imported from Italy. She's a foodie. I hate that fucking term. Oh, she likes food. Big deal. So do I. I'm not a goddamn foodie. They stopped carrying it shortly after she discovered it. I actually reached out to the distributor and found the only store in the country that still carried it and got it for her. Even spoke to the manager about keeping it in stock as much as possible, or if I could have ordered in larger quantities and take it off their inventory that night. Didn't that show her how much it meant for me to see her happy? Isn't that the love she claimed she wanted to have in life? To be loved is to be seen, to be heard. Just wild to me. I tried to give her everything she remotely mentioned she wanted. Still, I guess it wasn't enough. I never see myself like this, and I'm not going to pretend it didn't feel absolutely amazing. Felt amazingly wired into life. This shit woke me up in an instant, though. Yeah, it's like he woke up out of a spell. So this guy was really just going above and beyond for this chick. And again, they mentioning about getting married after 8 months, that's insane. I don't know what his background is. I don't know what the situation is. But the main point of the whole thing is, guys, when she pulled bullshit, whoosh, done just like that. And all guys got to be like that. But I have to question about in a parallel universe where he didn't act like the way he described here. Do you think she'd been as quick to pull this shit? I mean, they always test boundaries, but I don't think it'd be as bad if he wasn't, treating like a goddamn Queen of Sheba and bowing down in front of her and all that. So, lesson be learned, guys. Be prepared to end it when things are crossed, but also, for heaven's sake, don't get so crazy with the whole princess or queen treatment. It will not go well for you.